Are we recording?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, professional, things. I wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
This was a patron request for a Backseat critique, and basically they gave me a list of several films that they wouldn't mind a Backseat critique for, and I was like, Neverending Story! I not only haven't seen that in a while, and I already have a copy of it, and it is my favourite fantasy film of all time. So I was like, yeah.
It's up there with mine.
And then, since me and Omega have just moved into our new place, and Robyn came to visit, we're like, I'll make Robyn watch it, because Robyn's never seen it.
No, never did.
I didn't even know this was a thing that could happen. So.
I wasn't born until the 80s were more than 2 years over.
That's true. This came out when I was 4. Like, how old were you? You were, what, 1, right? Because you're 3 years old?
I was 83.
83, yeah, okay. I'm the oldest. I win the prize. No, but it's a classic, and if you haven't seen it because you're like, that looks like 80s crap, and I'm a millennial, yuck, yuck, yuck.
It's
You
awesome.
should totally see it.
And guys, sorry, but I don't know. I have no idea how bad this is going to sound echo-wise, because not only is the window open.
I can close the window.
If you want to.
We discovered that when I tried to use our oven that it produces smoke. Because it was apparently never cleaned, so I had the window open. But let me close that now.
But apart from that, we've got the echo of the room, and I have not worked out a place where I can put the camera where there's no echo, and you can see all of us on the sofa thing, because there ain't no chance of putting the camera right there to see all 3 of us.
Yep.
Yeah, there's that wall.
There's a wall.
Yeah.
But look at our schwanky couches. They're green leather with wood on them. They have stuff that are just.
Well, these 2 people think the probably originally cost over £1,000, but
Probably.
we got them second or 15th hand.
Yeah,
They
but
have
they're really
drawers
great.
in them.
They have wooden
Yeah.
drawers and just everything. Just.
They're quite spiky and comfortable.
Yeah.
But, on to the movie.
Yes, Neverending Story. Still fucking love this film, although it's been a long time since I watched it on DVD, and I'm curious to watch this on Blu-ray because of how damaging to the film the DVD quality is. I want to see what's like on Blu-ray and be like, oh my fucking god, that looks horrible suddenly.
I do think you should get a refund, because the fact that there are credits on screen at the minute just proves that it does end.
That's true. This film is a flagrant inaccurate. There's an ending.
Yeah, but see, no, because
Eurodance.
they put it at top speed. No, because see, listen, people are watching our vlog. They will suffer with us. They will be there with us when we describe the film.
Yeah,
and then
'cause
they
so
will want
meta.
to make their own YouTube. So really, does it ever end?
Somebody could make a critique of this critique.
Yeah, guys, keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Don't let the story end.
If you make a video critiquing this critique, I personally now say that it's almost disappointed out to me in some capacity. I'm not going to go looking, but I will critique your critique of this film.
Does it ever have to end?
Never-ending loops.
We have
Okay.
22 minutes of battery.
Okay,
So-
you had never seen this before. You had only seen, I'm guessing, little pieces of it through the
Memes
cultural
and-
osmosis.
Yes.
What did you think?
That was an interesting story. I think that the kid, Bastian, should have picked up on what was going on a lot earlier, considering that it was hinted at. He picked a
Need to be louder.
stupid story resolution at the end. Terrible name.
The terrible name, which was
Well,
indecipherable.
see, when they
unless you
do
read
the
book.
inevitable reboot, he'll just lean out the window and shout, Martha! The childlike empress will say, Bastian, why did you say that name?
So there's this a kid's
I thought that up while I was in the toilet, and I was like, I can't wait to say that.
a kid's being bullied by some other kids.
Because it's the 80s.
And they want his money because apparently there's no line between bullying and robbery.
I like how you suggested, honey, that bullying was an artifact of the 80s.
Well, no, because I didn't get to finish my sentence because it was the 80s and they hadn't invented cyberbullying yet. So they were still taking your milk money and your sandwich money because
you can't
kids
steal
still have
money as
that.
easily off children all over the internet.
Yeah,
Yes,
they'd
you
be like-
can. You just
Not
ask them,
as easily.
you just ask them for their email address and their pet's name, and you just empty their PayPal.
Aye. Or, they take a kid, and then drag him into the toilet and alright, get his bank card! And then one of them whips out their iPhone that's got the contactless payment, and they'll just invoice them up, and there you go.
Apple Pay doesn't work like that. I understand.
No.
Like your bank has to send you a text message to confirm firm that you're
No,
saying?
no, no, not Apple Pay. Like you can, there's the contactless in the chip and pin.
Oh, yeah,
There's
you
a
can.
phone adapter for that. So you could, if he has,
Invoice.
so yeah, you could cyberbully. Yeah, you could cyberbully someone and take their lunch money at the same time if you just had the attachment for your iPhone that you could accept contactless payments. Right, type in an invoice, take their chip and pin, and there you go.
So a kid's being traced through the street by by burglars in daylight, and to avoid this with all of the completely passive people about,
They're just like, oh, look at that.
he goes into a bookstore and the guy's like, "Get out of my store! I sell books. You don't like them." And he's like,
Yeah, the shop owner is basically Wilfred Brimley if he was crossed with Willy Wonka.
Diabetes books. Yeah, basically, like, if this was made now, he would be like, we sell books here, not tablet computers. Go look up an app for that.
I would love to see a modern reboot of this film. No, I know it's based on the book, but like maybe a trilogy made of based on the film, the book itself. I mean, it would be absolutely fascinating. And apart from that, the wonderful meta-ness that they did in the film, I would love to see them run with it in a bigger way.
Millennials.
Like you suggested the thing about like Atreyu looks the way Atreyu does because it was inspired by the Native American look, and then finding it was a boy. Or was you that suggested?
No, because basically they're like, oh, this boy whose people hunt the purple buffalo on the plains. His name is Atreyu, and he's like, whoa. And he looks at a sticker. He looks on his book bag, and it's a sticker of a Native American hunting a buffalo. And then the first time you see Atreyu, he resembles a Native American. So it's the idea that Atreyu hadn't been described, but Bastian had already ascribed something to him. Like, kind of like when the first time I saw Lord of the Rings, and I was like, wow, that's totally exactly how I imagined Rivendell. That's so amazing. Like, can you imagine something, and you see the movie or the TV show, it's slightly different. But in the book, your idea of it is colored by your own associations, your own schemas. It's actually, that would be a really cool thing to investigate in psychology.
But I'd like to see a reboot sort of run with that idea. Maybe have Atreyu, when he hears that Atreyu is a great warrior, appear as an adult warrior, and then he reads the line, it's a boy, suddenly it's a boy. And
no, but Atreyu was a boy because he was always supposed to be a boy because it was a reader insert.
But in the book itself, as I was reading it, the term boy came up later on. So remember The Fall, how the imagination of the little girl, Tarzan sings The Fall, how sort of we're seeing the story as imagined by her. As she changes her imagination, it changes. That's what I'd like to see, where he reads more details.
And you know what would just make the internet go bug shit about it? If Bastian was black and Atreyu was like a Zimbabwean kind of warrior.
That would be fine. My other
Zulu
suggestion,
or something like that.
My other suggestion is this is
everybody would lose their goddamn minds.
And this suggestion, I'm pretty sure they thought about, but they didn't do. And that was have Atreyu and Bastian played by the same kid. And I'm guessing they didn't do that because of the time constraints of filming a film.
And they do facially a wee bit resemble each other.
Yeah.
Just a wee bit.
But it is so hard to get child actors, and because so many restrictions on working with them. So I'm pretty sure that they thought about it and they're like, we couldn't do that. But if you could do that, that would be an absolutely perfect way of showing the self-insert.
Oh, like the thing where not so really old theater trick, isn't it in the stage production of Peter Pan that Hook and Mr. Darling are always played by the same actor?
That is true.
In case you didn't know.
Also, I would like to see that the elements of Fantasia, the visual elements, are stuff taken from his imagination. Like at the very start of Labyrinth, whenever you look through the Sarah's bedroom, and there's a single camera shot that shows you all over her bedroom.
Every single thing.
Yes, everything in the story is in her bedroom.
I want to watch that.
And that would be a good thing to do in thing. Like maybe the sort of the courtier type guy that sends Atreyu on the mission could be the bookseller. Just have it so that the bullies are dressed. Make some sort of parallel with them and characters who are negative. I don't know who, maybe the knight or whatever who got killed by the Sphinx. Just little things like that.
Well, his was the sin of pride.
I would love to see someone sort of do that.
Pride till you get past the Sphinx.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has to be genuine though, because know your own worth. But if you're worthless,
then you
know you're worthless, and you have self-doubt.
Yeah, but once you get through it, if someone who's confident, whose crap gets through it, then they get fucked in the next one.
That's true.
So Trump would be able to get through the first one. Okay.
We actually discussed this.
Yeah. But,
And for those of you who ask, no, Gary Johnson wouldn't get through either.
neither would Clinton. No one would get. Sanders
Jill
might.
Stein would like walk around it because she'd be so. I heard there were vaccines at the Oracle. I don't want to go there. I'll just walk around it.
I'm
Sorry.
I got lost in the passionate debate between two fans of this film.
So what
Yeah,
did
it's
you
a
think
great
of the
film.
trauma? Because there's two really traumatic parts of it. And what did you think of the trauma?
There wasn't much trauma. A horse died. Horses
No!
die all the time.
No, it's Artax.
Our generation, we saw this as very small children,
Yes.
and it was a very emotional thing seeing the horse
Artax!
die. Not only seeing the horse die, but having the very emotional, visceral reaction betray you to the horse dying.
Yeah.
I'm more cultured than either of you. I, as a very small child, worked in a stable. Horse death doesn't bother me.
But it wasn't any horse, it was Artax.
And Artek's the only interaction we've seen so far is they like sort of nibbling on a tray.
That's all you need.
Nom, nom, nom.
It's like a horse. It's like a...
Bastion's school has ridiculous attic space.
Yeah.
Yes.
I-
It's
that
full of
always- that always,
taxidermy and candles.
That
and
should have
school.
That always made me wonder.
You had like the wolf head in there and stuff.
Yeah.
They should have had more stuff from Fantasia in that. That would have been the perfect place for it. Like the theatrical department, whatever, from
Yeah.
like this place before it was a school, it was a university or something.
Alright.
It would have been so much better.
There's an oatmeal comic that I had in mind throughout this. We were watching it where, if you're, you hear a noise when when you're in your apartment, you're like, oh, it must be my roommate or my girlfriend or the cat or something. Same noise when you're alone. Oh, it could be a robber or a serial killer or the werewolf thing from the Neverending Story. And I was like, I know. I had nightmares about that.
Is it Gomorrah or Dimork? I always thought it was Gomorrah, but I heard Dimork in this
Well,
one.
you can look it up online.
It's Gomorrah and his brother's called Sodonic.
Okay.
Get it? Sodom and Gomorrah.
Oh.
But anyway, so the moral of the story is that thievery is good. So at the start of the story, he's being chased by some robbers. He goes into his shop, and the guy's like, "Ah, you don't like books? Come closer. Oh, you do like books? Come even closer. Ah, you
I'm
like
turned
this
on
book?
right now, little
Come
boy."
closer.
I'm not a pedophile
This
child.
is not a book. Come closer," said Wilford Brimley Savile.
Robert Brinley is not a child molester so far as we're aware.
I don't know.
But
Operation
the,
New Cheese still ongoing.
Anyway.
Oh, there was something I was going to mention about this that was totally genius, and I forgot, and my mind has gone blank because I'm an idiot.
I like that we were involved in the story. They were like,
It was
there's
our
that.
story too.
No, one thing really pissed me off actually. It's like, you must find the human child, and the human child can help. Did you find the earthling child?
Yeah.
And he
Earthling
somehow
child.
knows what that means.
I'm guessing what happened was they filmed the stuff at the end first, and they decided that was very unwieldy, so they went back when they filmed the earlier stuff and were like, we're not going to say human this time. That's my guess anyway, or possibly they filmed the earlier stuff and then the producer was like, that is too confusing because they are clearly humans as well.
But Bastian has no imagination. It's like, what are your wishes?
I want things to be the way they were before. I want revenge of them bullies.
Yeah. This
But
the
he made
ending.
many more wishes.
I just realised the ending. They apparently Bastian created an entire facsimile of whatever city he's in, just to get vengeance on those bullies. Not even the real life ones, these fake ones he's created, because that's still inside Fantasia.
Yeah,
when I was a
says
small
the
child,
roots.
I thought he left Fantasia and flew around, but
So did I.
in the context of the film, it's quite clear because they say in the voiceover afterwards that he left Fantasia afterwards. So he created.
Well, maybe it's like
Copies.
the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, where they like basically grow up and then they step out the wardrobe and like 5 minutes later they're like, oh, well, fuck. We've reached cognitive maturity, but we haven't reached puberty.
Jumanji. The
Dude.
You know, that is a psychological film I've watched, like a story based on the idea of the aftermath of that happening to someone.
Yeah, that's true. Cause like, what if like you go into like the fantasy world and like time passes differently, and then so you live like 50 some years, and then like you come back 2 minutes later, and you're still in your 10-year-old body.
Like, Narnia specifically says that King Peter becomes a viable swordsman. It's stated a few times. I don't know if it says, and he became a great swordsman. It's like talking about the campaigns he ran and his skill with the blade. It's like, there's still people who do that. Like a lot of that's muscle memory. if he picked up a sword in the real world now that he's been returned to the body of like a 10-year-old, what happened?
He'll be like a little Dragon Ball Z kid. Like,
Yeah,
I know the theory of you.
Well, it's the pattern, the things in the brain, the rewiring of the brain from practice. So it's not actually the body that does it. I think it's the brain, isn't it?
well,
That's
the
what
body
it
and the
is.
brain are connected. Like, basically, Hebb's law, Hebbian plasticity. The neurons that fire together wire together. And that's true also for the rest of you, not just your brain. I mean, it's more pronounced in the brain, but like, you know, I can use a keypad without looking. You know, you can type without looking, can't you?
No.
Well, I can type without looking. But like, you know, people who play the piano who can, you know, any kind of processing skill.
I
it's like-
type with 2 fingers, but I type very quickly like that because I never learned to type with all my fingers. So I just
Right.
type like that really fast.
But like one
I'm
of the
a touch
things
typist.
that when I first did my first job in an office, and my supervisor was like, "Oh yeah, cool," talking to me using the keypad without looking. I'm like,
We're
I
trapped.
want that skill,
Well,
and I developed it.
one of the things that we were taught when I raised the jiu-jitsu was about being able to do a task over and over again to the point where it doesn't actually need to be processed in
Yeah.
the brain. It can be processed as a reflex in the spinal column before it reaches the brain.
Nerves that fire together or wire together.
So, well, not even bringing the brain into the context, I'm like wondering what that's still work. Anyway, that's a whole discussion for not.
Well, no,
Neverending
I mean, like,
Story.
because the more often that you do something, it doesn't require higher level processing. It becomes a maintenance rather than a semantic task.
Well, they told me.
Well, that's only because I'm working on a paper for experimental cognitive right now. So, but anyway,
I have a wife who's smarter than me. It's wonderful.
I'm not smarter than you. Do you want
Yes,
me
you
to plug
are.
the camera in so we can talk for longer than 7 minutes?
No, because there's only like 40 minutes worth of
Crime of the day.
Neverending
Oh, yes.
Story. Well, if you steal a book off some old pervert, you will save Fantasyland and stop the entire world from sinking into a deep pit of despair and depression because there's no longer the ability
This
for people to
inspired a
have
bunch
fantasy.
of children to steal Harry Potter copies.
It's like, so it's okay to steal money off kids because that will inspire those kids to steal from old perverts who smoke pipes and tell kids to fuck off.
At the very start, when you got all the ambassadors going to talking to the black guy who appears to be attempting to do an impersonation of Jeffrey from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but it's not the same actor, although he does look a bit like him.
You know.
But you got all the ambassadors there looking all freakish and stuff, but some of them are really, really sort of
Shitty looking.
basic. Like, there's one of them which is like 3-headed Skeksis thing, but all the heads are looking the wrong direction, so no one's actually looking at
And
them.
there's like a halfling Angela Lansbury.
Yeah, and there is one that's just a giant fish.
And there's one that's just like a wolf's head on a
It's
little
like on a
pole.
pole.
Yeah, and there's one which is just this person in a unitard with some wings attached. It's just
Actually,
like,
that wolf head could have been a cleverly concealed boom mic.
that's
true.
possible.
Yeah.
But with these ones, it's like, usually when you got big crowd scenes like that, you put your really spectacular ones at the front and you put the other ones at the back.
Maybe
so
that's
you
all
don't
the
notice.
extras they could get to show.
This one, they put some of the crap ones at the front. It's just like, that's gall.
Oh,
that
so
is.
here's a theory that I always had when I was little. That the old man in the bookshop was an adult Bastion. And it's kind of like the Ouroboros, that it's just like a cycle that keeps repeating itself. Like, he will grow up to be a serious book owner to give the book on to the next Bastion.
Well, the cycle was heavily
Maybe.
applied with within Fantasia.
Yeah, but it's recursive because it like expands out. But it's a cycle within its nucleus. Do you know what I mean?
Well, considering they brought us the audience into the narrative, does that mean
Yeah, we're
going
part
to
of the
have to watch
recursive-
this film over and over again?
No, we're
Yeah.
part of the, well, I
That
have.
does bring in the idea of rewatching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But no, we're part of that recursive
Yeah,
expansion.
No, but the
Sure.
remake. If there's a remake of it, that means the old man is suddenly this one's Bastion.
They should get the same actor to play him.
That'd be fine. I don't know if he still acts, but yeah, that'd be fine. But
I hope this is all you dreamed of and more, patron. Who
Yeah.
wanted us to talk about this?
It was a good film. I enjoyed
it's
it.
fucking brilliant.
A lot of phallic imagery.
It's been a really long. I think it's been like 10 years since I've seen this. The second one with Jonathan Brandis.
You know, I'm not saying it was bad enough to commit suicide over, but apparently I will take Jonathan Brandis' word on this.
I only saw it once, and I saw it on a Saturday night when I
I'm
was
so
little.
sorry if you're a fan of Jonathan
Yeah.
Brandis or knew him. That was a horrible
It
thing
was.
to say.
You're terrible. But it was a Saturday night. We had a babysitter, and my sister and I were allowed to rent a movie, so we rented this. But the good thing was my mom made like these like butterscotch brownie things that were really good. But Neverending Story 2 is not good.
Yeah, although
Butterscotch brownies.
Robyn compared this to the Return to Oz, and Omega has never seen that.
My best friend in high school said it was scary.
There was less trauma in Return to Oz than there was in this.
Leave comment.
Oh,
Admittedly, you saw
Dex.
this as an adult, but Leave a comment in the testicle bar down there, on YouTube.
Testicle bar.
If you think that Omega should be forced to watch Return to
It could be an
Oz.
ovary bar too. Well, hey, become a patron and then select that for your
That's
Backseat
true.
critique.
If you're a patron,
because
and
now
you
we
haven't
have to
got
pay
your video.
rent. So yeah.
Yeah, if you're a patron and you haven't requested your Backseat critique yet, or you haven't received it, you want to change it. I would love for the opportunity to force her to watch Return to Oz because she's refusing to do it just because I want her to.
Maybe I'll do it and I'll get drunk at the same time.
It's a good film.
Yeah, well.
It's very
We've
good.
only got 2 minutes left, so we should probably
We should
say
do a marathon of all of the Oz films while getting progressively
There's like
drunker.
18 of them, plus they were the
Oh,
earliest one was like
two.
1911.
Ugh.
But guys, Europop.
I don't know if that'll pick up.
No, it is. I don't know what to tell you.
Backseat is a little shit.
Bastard!
Although his
this
mom's
film.
dead and his dad hits him for it.
Yeah.
So Dad's like, get the fuck over it. Go do your
It's
masters.
the 80s and I'm a yuppie, son. Get over your mother's death.
Also,
King
his
egg.
dad he fucking poured half a glass of orange juice and then cracked an egg in, blended it and fucking
I
drank
thought
it.
he was making an orange Julius, and he was like, I'm just gonna drink this raw egg, and I was like,
It's a German film, who knows.
I
So-
know.
It's a wonderful film, though. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to show Robyn it.
Thank you, patron. Bye-bye.
Oh, and if you can, look up the Dragonland cover version of the Neverending Story theme. It's fucking awesome.
I think
Power metal.
I think the battery died.